I was having a discussion, maybe it was over the weekend. I was having a discussion with somebody and they brought up impostor syndrome. Is this something you've heard of this? And I laughed and I said, well, so you found the ego. The great imposter. It has no choice, actually. It has to be something, doesn't it? But it isn't, and so it has to impersonate. Do you wonder what that's like, to be aware and in the absence of this imposter? What is it like? What is it like, this I without me? Oftentimes, it can fall away and it can be quite alarming. Can't seem to find oneself. Maybe some of you have had this happen. Can't find yourself, and maybe you file a missing persons report. You'll have to give a description, last seen at this location. Seems to have disappeared from mind. No, it can be quite alarming, I want to invite you into some contemplation. It's a bit of wordplay, but I found it very useful at one point in consideration of this imposter syndrome, this impersonator, this ego, and the awareness of it, and then the awareness in the absence of it, what remains in the absence of it. And I remember somebody was concerned that I was, they called it dissociating or disassociative, as some kind of a clinical, and I didn't reject it outright, I was really very curious and I wanted to know, and I wondered what the inquiry came, what does it mean, the connotation, the implied or inferred meaning of dissociative, disassociated, and detached? What's the difference? Disassociation is a very common reaction to a trauma response, yes? And a trauma response that gets kind of ingrained, and that when there's conflict, there's fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Huh? Each personality meaning strategy of navigating duality, coping mechanisms, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, is some balance of these things. Ego is made of these ways of being. And so can happen quite, it's really a blessing of consciousness, even of neurochemistry, you could even say, that in the face of life-threatening trauma or really just too much to bear, that one can disassociate, they check out. What a beautiful built-in protection mechanism. And then, like any strategy that, that is useful, it gets reused, and then it becomes part of habit. And then it's latent, poised, ready to deploy these strategies when conflict arises. Different types of conflict, different types of strategies. Different proclivity for each person, personality, ego. Maybe one is more prone to fight, another to freeze, another to fawn. One time I remember I was a young man and I was traveling in Europe, and it was very early in the morning. I was backpacking, I was probably 19 or 20 years old. And one of my friends, young woman, we were all kind of very tired and groggy, and I saw her going to walk across the tracks where she shouldn't have. And this is not a good idea in Europe. There's a third rail that, and I saw her walking, and I went to yell to say, stop. Nothing came out. Nothing came out. It was so odd. And then it did, and then she stopped. We went on our merry way, but these things in times of great stress, there's a disassociation. And then this disassociation becomes part of the strategy of the personality. And it's a bit of, in comparison to detachment, I want to say it this way, just for your own inquiry. I'm not here to offer definitions, but to present something for you to contemplate in your own experience. So in this disassociation, there is something really quite relaxed about it, quite a relief in disassociation, because it is now an escape from stressor. But it has a bit of a fugue, foggy, tamasic, narcotic kind of effect. You could even say it's a slight hazy drunkenness in disassociation, and such a relief and welcome, and good actually. But then, as a habit of this strategy is actually clinging to that disassociative state, whereas detached is fully intimate, alert, and aware. Nothing foggy. It's very clear. And oftentimes when, sometimes the ego will just go missing. And there can be some period of drunkenness, of ungroundedness. I had my fair share. Oh dear. Ego gets a hold of not ego. And yes. But then detaching from disassociation, from that tamasic state of mudda, of like dullness, then more and more clarity comes in. And it comes in as the light of your own awareness. So many reports, actually, recently in this last week especially, awareness dawns of egoic tendencies. It could be dissociation, that tendency. Could be confusion, aware of confusion. Also, when layers of the egoic presentation, when they fall away, now you will also see that old layer in everyone. Have you noticed this? So now you're acutely aware of that strategy, and you're seeing it playing out in so many conversations around you. And it's for you still. It's for you to see, oh, okay, that's what fell away. I'm seeing it so clearly now, oftentimes exaggerated, some exaggerated form of it, so that we don't miss it. The Guru as world is so generous in this way. And then if you judge it, then you'll slide back into the pattern yourself. But if you foresee it and forgive it and say, oh, I also did that, I also do that. And I forgive it, and also I choose not to engage that particular strategy anymore. It's not easy, of course. But if you judge it, if you condemn it, if you feel some sense of pride, spiritual pride, egoic pride, some sense of condemnation or condescension, it will grab you again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And one simply says, there, but for the grace of God go I. Look at the gift I've been given. I'm now aware, and I no longer need to engage in that way. Thank God. So grateful. And you let them be as they are. Now you won't have to repeat it. This is detachment. It is in a state of clarity, not naive, not foggy. It is clear, it sees, it is seen, alert, intimate, alive, expansive. And this is detached. Here, there is the absence of imposter. Absence of imposter. And you will, maybe for a time, but really, truly, you will not grieve the loss of this one. It is seen over and again as layers upon layers fall away, fall away, fall away. You are increasingly joyful and peaceful. Maybe there's some period of grieving of your own death, your own egoic death. So many of them. Write a sweet obituary. I did this actually, as layers of my ego would fall away, and I'd find this sadness of losing the sufferer that was so much a part of my identity, and I would find this sadness, and I got into the habit of honoring that one as a really well-meaning warrior in the world, honoring the ego, not even condescending my own self, and writing a little obituary in my mind. I was too lazy to put it on paper, but just to really honor his journey, What a sweet man, however confused he was, like this. And then having grieved, you let it be buried in the past where it was always in the past. And now you look around and you think, oh, not so bad. Not so bad. Do you miss that one? No, not so very much, no. Honor that one, appreciate that one for having, I don't know, I want to say like a Sherpa carried the load for a while and then resigned. Now no load to carry. Yes, and you would not grieve that because in any way, eventually it's also seen nothing was lost. But first you would see nothing of value was lost, and then eventually you'll see nothing was lost. Nothing was lost. And now that even the voice that says, maybe you'd call it the conscience, some pang of like impostor syndrome, even that voice falls away. The end of reviewing every moment past, anticipating every moment future, looping in the same conversation over and over again. It just falls away. Good riddance. Even the effort to present as somebody or something falls away. It just happens, And no review, how did I do? And this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing is why we come to satsang, is to be free in this way. It's to be free from that imposter. So if you ever feel that pang, I remember it. I think I even told this many years ago as a young man, and I told my therapist about it. I was probably in my early 20s, and I said, I feel like a fraud. It's a thing in psychology. I don't know much about it, but I say, in this, we become free of the imposter and free of the one who judges the imposter. And you see, that sweet man was just doing his best. Looking so much just to fit in, to be accepted, to love others and to be loved by them. So sweet, isn't it? Very confused in his strategies. Oftentimes he had his chin out, chip on his shoulder, snarl, or overly, how do they call it, fawning, like. But then it just falls away. And this is freedom from falsity, from actual imposter. So, I thought it was a fun inquiry. This What is the ego? What is the imposter? What are the strategies, the mechanisms, and what are you when that is not there? At first, untethered, maybe confused, not knowing. And then little by little, you just clarify in it. Oh, picking it back up again. Okay. Very good. Welcome. And you have to know you're coming to be free of it and to know it's possible and that it's possible for you, and this is why you come. So you can be free of all of that. Mm-hmm. And nobody should ever try and take it from you. It's yours to let go. Nobody should take it from you. Huh? But be careful coming to satsang, because it has a tendency of melting in this space.